Hello, welcome to twitch.tv/the Onyx Path, or as well if you're watching live on BackerKit, where I believe we are simulcasting this very stream, in theory. The reason for our gathering today is the Trinity Continuum Player's Guide BackerKit. We currently have 9 days remaining. I'm going to throw the link in the chat right there. And yeah, you still have an opportunity to get in there. Back it, we've already hit our base goal and we've unlocked several stretch goals. So there are more stretch goals to unlock. We've got 9 days to see how far we can take it. Anything after that won't apply to unlocking stretch goals. So get in there, check it out. The newest chapter released, I believe, just this morning to backers. And I believe that covers the strange travels, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of the stuff that you'll be seeing covered in today's stream. If you can bear with us just a little bit, we have a player who should be joining us a little bit later on. I believe there may be some technical issues on that side, but while we're waiting, we can cover some of our session 0 and XP spends. The way we're handling this, because we have a limited time at our disposal, as we're going to be doing all of our session 0 discussion at the front portion of the stream, and then diving right into the action. So before we get too far into things, let's go ahead and have everyone tell us who you are, what you do, who you are playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would care to promote. And let's start that off this time with Danielle. Please give us your pertinent details.
Hi, I'm Danielle Lozon. I am, I guess I am the developer for the Trinity Continuum Player's Guide project. So hi, I use she, her, or she, they pronouns. I am playing Rebecca Smythe, and she also uses she, her pronouns. And she's a member of Le Fantôme. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, that's who I'm playing.
And one other question I guess I forgot to throw in there. Where in the continuum are you from?
I am from the modern day era, in essentially modern times.
Excellent. Rock and roll. Next up, that brings us to Bianca. Please give us all of your pertinent details.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Bianca. My pronouns are she, her. I work as a content designer, so I make stuff for digital games by day, and then by night, occasionally, I dabble with tabletop RPGs. I will be playing a character named Aurora. I have played her previously here in the game of Aberrant. I would say that she is a magical girl. I really, really wanted to play a magical girl, and so that's where she came from. She is very sparkly, your bog standard protagonist in that sense. Very naive, starstruck, sparkles. She wants to do good, but she doesn't really know her place in the world just yet. Her pronouns are also she, her.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I guess last but not least, at least for the moment, Bunny, your pertinence, please.
Sure. Hi, my name is Millie, or Bunny. I'm a cozy, comfy, trans, and retro-styled bunny VTuber with a slime on my head. And I'm a really, really big fan of tabletop role-playing games and improv and collective storytelling. It is 100% my jam, and I really love being on this channel. You can find me at twitch.tv/bunnyhearted or wherever bunnies are found. And you can find me today playing Barbara Babs Butcher, who I guess is a dashing disaster pilot from the far-off, distant future year of 1936. And definitely doesn't have a totally disastrous accent that I'm going to have to stumble getting back into for a moment here as we start. This will be fun.
I look forward to it, and it's always a pleasure to have you on the channel. Thank you so much for
It's a
squeezing us.
transfixing experience, I'll tell you.
Thank you for squeezing us into your schedule. So, before we get into the mechanics of it, the XP spends and such, I wanted to do just kind of a basic safety discussion. Generally, we use the X card on the channel, so if there's any content that you feel you need to X out, you're welcome to do so. You may do so by verbally saying X card, by making an X with your hands, or by typing an X in the Zoom chat. Full disclosure, the last place I will see it is the Zoom chat. That's just there just to make sure that everybody's comfortable, because we're here to have a good time. That's the purpose, and you can't have fun if you're not having fun. I also rely on yes goes and no goes. So, for example, yes goes are things that you definitely want to see. No goes are things you definitely do not want to see. The kind of standard no goes that we have are SA. Don't believe it belongs. I don't believe it belongs in games for any reason, so it's a no go. And we generally tend to avoid harm to domesticated animals. That's just generally nobody likes being sad about pets. So those are kind of the standards whenever I run. Going in reverse order, Bunny, do you have any yes goes or no goes that you'd like to add to the proceeding?
Sure. I feel my no-goes are probably the same as before, which is sort of like a medical depiction of blood being drawn from a character I'm playing. Not a thing I'm into. Spent too much time in a hospital as a child. Vampires are pretty cool and fine though. Like Carry On Vampires, big fan. As for yes goes, maybe vampires now. Now that I'm thinking about it. Otherwise, dashing adventures, ridiculous nonsense. Last time I played this character, it was really like a little bit steampunky, a little bit ridiculous, like retro future science. And I'm excited to see how that stuff clashes with like an actual modern day and the current setting. And I think some exploration of that could be pretty interesting.
Excellent. So I've got no goes for medical trauma, and yes goes for vampires and retro future adventurous nonsense. Does that sound like?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. And then also like general medical trauma is fine. Like having a bunch of bandages on my head, it's totally fine. It's just that one scene from Fury Road with the blood transfusion. Not that.
Okay, so specifically needle oriented.
Yeah.
Excellent. I have noted that thusly. Bianca, any yes goes, no goes, anything you'd like to add to the mix?
I mean, now that you mentioned vampires, of course, yes, always, love vampires. But don't force it. Don't feel like you need to force it just to make me happy. But just, yes, vampires would definitely make me happy. I feel like mine are pretty much the same as before, like the odd standard stuff where I don't like gratuitous violence, especially directed towards children, or like having to force me to enact violent stuff. Like, no, it's like, it's, I think you brought up a very good example before where it's just like, oh yeah, no, it's like, it might be collateral damage or something like that, and it might be a bit of a sad tearjerker moment where you might see something, but it's just like, I don't want it to be very like graphically depicted, and I don't want my hand to be forced to do something that I don't really want to do.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So I've got just kind of a no loss of player agency, and no graphic depictions of violence or forced depictions of violence. And those all sound perfectly fine, fair, and acceptable, and easily manageable. And for Yesko, I've got vampires. Anything else you'd like to see?
So I love melodrama, so it's yes, anything like in that sense, I will be very happy as well.
I think I can swing some melodrama. And Dee, how about you?
Yes is As far as that goes, like I'm usually pretty open to a lot of things. So there's not anything specifically that I'm, yes, this. I'm just pretty open. As far as no's, I am not a fan of dealing with self-harm and or suicide in games. So that's a no-go for me.
Okay, excellent. That is perfectly acceptable, understandable, and easily, I think, avoided. And then I have one other element that I just wanted to ask everybody about to touch on, partially because some of the plans I have do revolve around it, but also partially because it's actually discussed at one point in the player's guide. I'm not sure if it's discussed in the materials that have made their way out. I think it was in what came out today. But just I wanted to see what everyone's thoughts are on the possibility of running into alternate selves, particularly, of the evil / goateed variety. If anyone has any particular feelings one way or the other on running into alternate versions of your characters that would be depicted by the story guide to further the plot.
I don't have any.
Feeling pretty positive about that in general, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Big fan. I'm just going to see if I can turn off Blorp's mustache for the moment. So I know this is the good one.
I make no guarantees that everyone will be evil and or bearing a goatee.
If you tell me to, I will absolutely open this model up again in Blender and add a dramatic mustache to it so I can swap. And at a moment's notice, I'll put it on a toggle.
I appreciate your commitment to the bit. Well, having said that, I think we've got everything covered. And again, obviously, these tools are here to help us have a good time. They are not intended nor designed, I don't think, to be all encompassing. If something comes up in the course of play, feel free to X, and we'll happily pause. I don't believe in asking for any justification or clarification on something unless I literally am confused by why you X. You know what I mean? If for some reason it's not abundantly clear as to why the X card was tapped, I may ask for a clarification. But other than that, we'll just rewind, excise the offensive material, and move along with our day. Speaking of moving along with our day, everyone that's on the stream, with the exception of Danielle, has previously played a character on an existing stream, so there's a little bit of tie-in there. There was a little bit of unspent XP amongst them as a result, and then I also have awarded all of the players 20 XP to spend on their characters as they would like to do so. So let's go around, and this time let's start off with Danielle. If you want to tell us what XP expenditures you might have purchased, and maybe just since you haven't played the character before on the channel, like a brief overview of your like paths maybe and basic capabilities.
Sure. So Rebecca is a con artist. She was born a ward of the state. So her origin path, she wasn't born a ward of the state. She was essentially made a ward of the state when her parents left her. She doesn't know where her parents are, and she doesn't particularly care. She went from foster home to foster home, never really settled down, and kind of learned how to talk to people in a way that gets them to do what you want them to do through all of that exposure. So her origin path is ward, and her role path is the face. She joined the Le Fantôme when she was a teenager and started stealing from the rich because they had way more than her, and nice. They were good targets. She does a lot of short cons, long cons. That's kind of her wheedle her way into a situation. Is her speciality. So she has. I started the character with a pretty high persuasion and larceny, with a few smattering of dots in command, culture, a little bit of empathy and humanities, some aim, and just the littlest bit of integrity and technology. I spent some experience points to increase command to try to kind of help the needs of the group, to have a little bit more of a forceful character involved. As for attributes, she is a social attribute character. That is her main ballywick. She is a pretty high presence of manipulation, not so great on composure. Decent dex, decent cunning, not so great on everything else. She is a finesse character. That is her approach, favorite approach. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. She is, as far as edges go, I have a lot of small things. She's a skilled liar. She has some danger sense. She has a little bit of photographic memory. She has some wealth that she has accumulated from robbing people.
Nice.
She has a flawless accent, which is a new edge that you can pick up in the player's guide. And she has an old school knowledge of larceny, also an edge you can pick up in the player's guide. That one is interesting because essentially she knows all about things that came from times before.
Okay, cool.
That deal with that skill.
Excellent. That will come in, I think, quite handy as well.
Yes, I thought it might. She is, all of my gifts are in generally about being persuasive slash doing heist things. So I have that's bad luck, which lets me, it's from the core, it lets me know if something has kind of a flux thing about it, like an item. So is that item bad luck or not, kind of thing. Forgettable, so I can make it hard for people to remember me. A reasonable request, which makes it hard for people to deny me things. Is this worth anything to you? Lets me essentially claim that I palmed a thing or stole a thing, that now that I'm trying to make a deal with somebody, I'm like, hey, how about this thing that I stole from over there? Is this worth anything? Do you want to make a trade for this? It is specifically designed for people from other worlds, people from other times. I'm not necessarily going to have currency for the right time period if we are doing time travel, but I may be able to use this gift to have picked up some current time appropriate currency, things like that. And then entrances and exits, which lets me be in the right place at the right time when we're doing some kind of heist stuff. I'm not sure that will come up, but it was a cool gift, so I picked it up.
Take it. And I think it may very well come into play. I don't think it's spoiling too much to say that there is an opportunity for a heist in your future.
Excellent.
Was there anything else of note that you wanted to share before we roll on to the next character?
I think that's pretty much it. She did the tiniest bit of firearms, so she has a pistol that she uses, but for the most part, she tries not to get into fights. That
is fair. Never a bad approach to things. See if you can avoid violence, in your problem solving. So moving it along to Bianca, to Aurora. When last we saw Aurora, Obviously, we had the dormancy leading into the magical girl change, and a lot of powers based around light. Is that a fair statement?
I would say so. It's not much has changed. I used the XP that I got just reviewing my notes, and there was one that was just like, I need wings. So that is, she has one, so she can now glide.
Nice, I love it. Beautiful. Any other interesting purchases or areas that you might have buffed up?
No, it's just like more quantum in wings. That's the wings she's really happy about. She's changed her outfit completely now, so it also like has feathers in it, and they fall off all the time. So a lot of her salary has to go to buying new feathers and reattaching them to her outfit.
Nice, nice. I'm glad that you've created yourself a whole new level of expenses. I appreciate that. And then Babs obviously built around destruction from the skies, being able to fly pretty much anything, and usually land. Right? Is that
I mean, I think she only landed a plane twice, which doesn't feel like a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice.
that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, Babs is sort of like a daredevil stunt pilot from the 30s. So very much in that like dogfighty kind of spot. She's a bit of a sharpshooter, certainly not the best in the world, but pretty high up there. But she has, shoot to injure, not shoot to kill, sort of as an ethos on it. She really does not want to like, she's not going to avoid combat, but she doesn't want it to be final combat with someone it doesn't need to be. And she is determined to figure out all sorts of technological shenanigans.
I love
I'm
it.
trying to remember her exposure to flux. I think she saw like a floating castle in a sky, and then sort of got like wildly off course, went for whole nonsense adventures.
That is, I believe, accurate. And what have you spent those experience improvements on?
So
I know that in the course of the story, Babs had some exposure to the otherworldly.
she's made contact with the ethereal plane. My goodness, she was possessed like 7 times. That's what happened because she has no defense against being possessed like 7 times. Apparently, the stuff requires composure or something. I don't even know what that is. On a related note, Babs' dog has purchased a tiny bit of composure, so that's nice. I also got a little bit more athletics, close combat, some culture and enigmas. A little mix of skills, just sort of to round out the skill set without having anything close to social skills. So yeah.
Excellent. That all sounds wonderful. It sounds like we'll have plenty of opportunities to delve into the story that I have in mind. And if no one has any further business that they want to discuss in the preamble, let's dive right into the tale. Once Kelly joins us, we can pause real quick to fold in any yes goes or no goes that he has. Though I think we've pretty well covered the ones in my experience. And get his character folded in as well. But in the interim, we have some story to tell. So, did anyone have any other business before we hop right into it? No,
No, I don't think so.
rock and roll. Well, speaking of hopping, we're going to start things off with Bunny and Babs. You have been. It's been a few weeks since your altercations with the Tyrant of the Skies.
That Skyrend, I will have my revenge.
The group has somewhat separated a bit. You very recently dropped the ferret off in South America, where he had a lead on an ancient mask that supposedly gave the user the power to see the future.
I wonder if I'll give you the power to wear pants next time.
I'll have to ask him on Saturday. As you
Please do.
as you are there, you have begun getting a a series every time you turn on your radio. Um, there seems to be some interference. That's a series of numbers. It has been going on probably by the time you drop him off about 7 days or so. And after kind of racking your brain as you're sitting there on the airstrip, just kind of listening to it, it finally clicks to you that this is once again a series of coordinates being communicated to you.
Well, she may as well fuel up the old magpie and go take a look.
Excellent. These coordinates are just off of the southern coast of Florida, and again at an altitude of 20,000 feet.
Yeah, I think she'll go. She's fully anticipating it just to be like a meetup either with the Skyrent or some other flying city nerds.
Or
just
with,
to
with,
talk about
with Lando's
flying
people.
things. Exactly, Lando's people, maybe. Who knows? Maybe they went to Florida. They were hanging out over the Indian Ocean before. I don't know how fast their city that crashed into the ocean is. Does that count as landing? Maybe I did land things 3 times. I don't know if that landed.
A water landing is a landing, yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad that it counts. That helps Babs' heart rest more easily.
Excellent. So you're making your, you get fueled up, you make your flight plan, and you make your way over the coast. I assume taking the time to avoid the Bermuda Triangle, and not just flying right through it.
I mean, it is pretty cool. And like one day she might see that castle in the eye of a storm again. And like it's right there. Like, why wouldn't you fly through the Bermuda Triangle?
Excellent. Well, in that case, then why don't you go ahead and just give me a piloting roll.
Sure. Does this feel like a dexterity thing or like a long-term staying awake thing?
This is definitely going to be more about immediate responses to things.
Okay, sounds good. Oh my gosh. I rolled phenomenally. Okay. Where was this roll all of last game? I think I have 6 successes.
Excellent. So as you're making your way through the triangle and the clouds sort of roll in, it's heavy. I apologize for the background. It sounds like Rockford through my mic right now. The sirens will hopefully pass.
I think we're getting very little of it. I think either Zoom or your microphone is mitigating very successfully.
Beautiful. Good to know. So as you're flying through, obviously there's cloud cover. There's a little bit of storm activity, and you do notice in the clouds at a couple of different points this storm activity, like the lightning takes on like an odd sort of greenish hue to it, and a couple of times you're pretty sure that you notice like a silhouetted form that looks like it might be some sort of spacecraft, like a Foo Fighter or some sort of unknown, one might say unidentified flying object. But unless you intend on ramming into one, you are able to avoid them relatively deftly.
Tempting, but pretty confident they could outmaneuver her super old seaplane. So.
Excellent. You emerge from the triangle unscathed, but definitely with kind of this sense that there's something going on in those clouds. A lot of activity. Seems like even more activity than what you may have heard in rumors about the place. But you're not far. Once you clear it, you're not terribly far from the coordinates that were listed.
She'll mark down some notes about our approximate coordinates and time and stuff to mail to Sula one day to be like, yo, nerd, what is this?
Excellent. And as you've got all that marked down and you clear and you get to the area, the coordinates that were measured, you don't see anything out in front of you. In fact, it's just clear sky just over the South Florida coast. When very suddenly and without warning, you hear like a metal on metal impact in the back of the plane.
Uh, right in the notes. Been shot by something. Gonna go check that out. And go, like, I guess stick a head out the window and see what's behind us.
As you look out the back of the plane, you don't see anything behind you outside, but you hear a thumping noise inside the back of the plane.
Well, time for autopilot, putting a stick against the steering wheel. Let's go take a look.
All right, you hop up and turn around, and obviously there's not really like any seal between the cockpit and the passenger compartment on this. So as soon as you turn around and look, you see a woman. Looks like she's probably in her 20s. Long dark hair. She's wearing what looks like a one-piece jumpsuit with a belt that's got several pockets on it, and she's laying flat on the floor and holding in one hand what appears to be like a gun that launched out like a grappling hook, which is now embedded in the floor of your plane, like from above.
Well, I did not see you on the passenger list. Just gonna draw her pistol and kick her a little bit.
She
See if she's alive.
sits up and lets go of the grappling hook. As she does, the gun like zooms back to the tip of the hook, like a measuring tape closing up. And she throws her hands up and says, "Whoa, you're Babs Butcher, right?" And as soon as she sits up and holds her hand up, you can see there's some sort of odd mechanical device strapped to her chest. It's got several tubes and wires sticking off of it. Well, go ahead and roll a technology if you'd like to.
Sure, yeah. What does it feel like for observing this? I'm not sure if cunning feels right. Maybe it does.
Cunning is fast. Cunning is fast thinking. So
yeah, I'm looking for 8s in the system, right?
Correct.
I have 1.
Excellent. So
Where'd my roll go?
as you look at this device, you have no idea what it might possibly do. However, you do note that some of the tubes that are sticking off of it look like they could easily interface with the controls on your plane, almost as if they're designed to like plug into your navigation system.
Are you some representative of the Skyrent? Get off my plane.
No,
Techno nonsense.
Skyrent? Oh, you mean
Tyrant of the Skies.
yes,
Jerk.
yeah, Dr. Von Zorb. That's funny. No, that must have been really recent for you.
Like a week ago.
This is
What are
going to
you
be
talking about?
a lot for you to process, but
Everything's a lot for me to process.
I'm here from another place, and I need your help.
Well, always happy to help if I can. For friends.
I'm trying to avert a relatively severe crisis, and I need to assemble a team to do so. Your name came up in my research, and I thought you might be able to help. But in order to do so, we're going to need to plug this. She like disengages the device from her chest. It was just on there with like straps. It wasn't like connected to her in any way, like directly. So we need to install this on your plane, and I'm going to need you to travel to a couple of coordinates. We need to put together a team. My name is Ro, by the way.
It's nice to meet you, Ro. You can call me Babs.
Hi, Babs.
Doesn't look like she's armed or anything, does it?
She has a rather futuristic looking pistol on like a holster on her hip. But other than that, she doesn't seem to be carrying any weaponry. You have no idea what's in the numerous pouches on her belt.
Of course. Well, I don't quite know how you got here, but I'm curious enough to find out. So let's go.
Well, the coordinates I gave you were, again, this is going to be a lot to swallow, but no sense beating around the bush. Coordinates I gave you were to a dimensional portal in my home time and space.
Ah,
I needed you to come there so that I could get to you. But now that I'm
it's going to be
here,
deeply confusing.
likely, yes. May I? And she holds the device and kind of indicates toward
May as
your...
well go take a look.
All right.
The weirdest assassination attempt ever, if that's what this is. So, like, props to you.
She says, no, I absolutely do not want to assassinate you. In fact, I desperately...
I mean, hey, if I was to be assassinated, I would pick this way. So,
Oh, well, that's weirdly touching.
I know, right?
Do you mind if I plug this in?
Go for it.
All right. She plugs...
Tap the side of the plane. Be a good girl now.
She plugs the device in, and like you feel like a wave of energy wash over you. Like this is definitely some sort of inspired device that is now wafting energy throughout the plane.
Huh.
She says, I have a couple of lists of coordinates that I'm going to need you to fly into. We're going to need to land, hopefully without drawing too much attention to ourselves, and collect a couple of other people. How does this do?
Well,
Like
sounds good.
on how much space do you need to land this thing?
Oh, not that much. It's not really that fast.
Do you think you could do like a rooftop?
I might need to do some napkin math, depending, but probably.
Excellent.
It's a fun challenge.
She hands you this strange plastic device that has text on it, like on like a screen. It says, "That's the first set of coordinates. I can type it in if you want, but you're the pilot, so."
Wow, that sure was fancy. Attention shouldn't be a problem at all, though. This girl just looks like every other plane, so be no trouble. Then yeah, we'll put them in and go see where the heck it is that we end up going.
Excellent. As you type in the coordinates and hit the enter button, basically, energy starts to dance all over the hull of your plane. You start to see the landscape shift around you. For a moment, you're pretty sure a pterodactyl fly past. And then deftly avoid smacking into a literal flying saucer. Go ahead and give me a piloting check if you don't mind.
Sure. do. 2, 3, 4. 4 of them in total. Ones don't take away, right? It's only if I have only ones that
Correct.
it's bad news.
Correct. It's only bad news if you only have ones. Oh, and
Well, my system's straight in my head.
I'm so terrible. I'll put it in the Zoom chat. You do have 5 momentum.
Hell yes, let's go. I'm gonna cause trouble.
So as you are ducking and weaving, and going through it, you obviously avoid any contact with anyone, but it becomes very clear to you that you seem to be moving through not only different historical periods, but different landscapes. Like at one point you look down and the water below you is like a luminescent orange. And then eventually, after cycling through 6 or 7 of these different strange realities, you come to focus. It's nighttime. You vaguely recognize the cityscape of New York, though there are some different, like you spot the Empire State Building, but you see another building much taller in the background behind it that you've never seen before, that's lit up like a flag, basically. And you see a flat rooftop And Ro points to the flat rooftop and says, "That's where we need to pick up our next associate."
It sounds fun. You still got that grappling hook, right? We might need that.
I do. What good's that going to do with the plane?
We gotta slow down somehow. We'll see how this works. Fingers crossed, but just in case.
Well, you already did. Oh, go ahead.
Absolutely gonna try to land it, but just in case. Ready with a grappling hook.
Excellent. You already did very well on your last 2 piloting checks, so I'm not going to make you make a check to land per se. Are there any gifts that you would like to employ as you're making this landing that might
I feel
either...
the only applicable gift is no brakes, which I specifically should not use ever. So let's not. That's fine. I mean, it's also totally irrelevant to this. It's just fun to say. So no, I don't think any gifts are super applicable to the landing.
Excellent, excellent. You do land, and you are able to skate it to a stop right at the edge of this skyscraper. And Ro hops out of the plane and says, "Our target," I hate using that word, "should be coming this way very shortly." And as she says
Sure,
that,
I'll just turn on the radio.
we shift focus to the inside of the building, where Rebecca and does Rebecca prefer to work alone, or does Rebecca prefer to work with a team?
It really just depends on what the mission is. She generally, if she's doing a theft or a con, it's by herself. But she does work with other members of the Allegiance if there is a big thing that needs to happen.
Excellent. The current job that you have stumbled upon, there's a industrialist billionaire by the name of Wayne William, who has been making a lot of noise lately about various kind of inventions, clean energy stuff, military application like battlesuit type technology, and whether it be an employer or whether it be hires, superiors within your faction, I'll leave that to you to decide. But someone has asked you to retrieve a thumb drive from a facility in New York City that supposedly has some of this experimental technology included in it. You know that it's stored on the 60th floor of the building.
Okay.
You know that it is stored in one of the vice presidents of Mr. Williams' company, Wonder Corp. It's stored in their office in a safe in the wall.
Okay.
How would you like to go about acquiring this MacGuffin?
Well, probably enter from the 60th floor window by coming in through the side of the building.
Okay. So that'd be like a rappelling from the top kind of thing?
Yeah, rappelling from the top. And then do a quick safe crack, probably in the evening when nobody is around or guards are lighter. Quick in and out job.
Excellent. Well, there's going to be 2 rolls I'm going to need from you.
Okay.
Let's do a, what would it be? Athletics, probably we're going to be leaning on for that,
Okay.
for the rappel.
Sure.
And any equipment that you have, obviously you can apply the enhancement from that equipment. Let's get that out of the way. And then we also would need a larceny roll to get the safe open.
Okay. So for athletics, I've got 3 successes.
Excellent. You're able to descend relatively easily. There's some pretty high winds, obviously, at this height, but nothing that you can't handle.
Okay.
You're able to stabilize and do a nice cut out of the piece of window to get inside. You make your way across the room, deftly avoiding the security cameras, and come to the safe.
Okay. What kind of safe is it?
It's like a old school, like behind a painting. There's a combination.
dial.
Yeah.
Okay. I this time have 4 successes.
Excellent. You pull out your listening device. You're able to crack the safe relatively quickly. As soon as you open it, however, you realize, like, you get it unlocked and are about to pull it open. You realize there's like a magnetic alarm that if it's opened, the alarm will trigger. You are able to catch it in time due to your successes, and if you'd like, you can take some other action to attempt to alleviate that, to interfere with that's working. If there's any dramatic editing you want to apply, you're welcome to do that at this point. Or you can just pull it and go.
Maybe I can try a technology action to bypass it.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead and give me a technology roll. And what would you like to pair that with?
Cunning, because it's happening pretty quick. So I'm trying to think on my feet.
Sounds perfect.
Re-roll that one. Oh, okay. So I have 3 successes.
Excellent. As you stop and pause and look around and think, you realize that as long as you don't put any pressure on it, it's not going to go off. You see a letter opener on the desk that you think you can pretty well short it out with.
Okay.
So you're able to grab that, insert the letter opener, and pull it out, and sure enough, it shorts the alarm. There is no warning. Inside, you find basically like a jump drive, like a relatively large external drive, and a couple manila envelopes and a stack of cash.
I will. What's in the manila envelopes? I have a little bit of time and no alarms going off.
Sure. Yeah, you pop them open. These seem to be looks like personality profiles. At a quick glance, you can just tell that it looks like maybe some sort of like hiring or recruitment, like a headhunter's package. If you want to delve deeper into them and take the time to do so, you may. But that's just going to eat some time.
Sure, I'll just take everything in the safe.
Okay, excellent. You get everything in the safe, get it secured, and start making your way, I assume, out the way you came.
Yes.
Excellent. You're crawling back up the side of the building. Bunny, Babs looks over, and you notice there's like the top of a grappling hook attached to the edge, and you realize in all this time, like, Roe never used their grappling hook.
What is it with today in grappling hooks? Gonna get out of the plane and go take a look. Poke her head over the edge.
Excellent. So as you're climbing up to the top, Rebecca, you look up and see, please, Babs, describe exactly what it is that Rebecca
Convenient aspect to being a VTuber is Babs looks basically like this, except perhaps without bunny ears and a slime on her head. So very, very like 1930s sort of dress, but in much more masculine clothes than you would expect for a woman. Very, very old school, chunky glasses, really light makeup, has a shoulder holster very clearly visible on top of her vest, and is peering down at you and says, "Well, hi there."
I think Rebecca kind of isn't expecting this at all.
That's fair.
And last she checked, there was literally no one up there. And somebody could have gotten up there in the time that she was gone, but it's not normal to find another person on the top of a building.
That is unusual.
So the first reaction is she kind of slips down the rope a few meters before catching herself because she is just so surprised that somebody just peeked over the edge. And she'll, stare up at Babs and kind of take in the dress, the accent, everything, and just kind of say, hello?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to startle you. Can I give you a hand?
Sure. She will climb the rest of the way up and allow Babs to help her over the side.
Yeah, I'll totally offer hand to scoop you up.
And she grabs the grapple and starts rolling up the line. Is that your plane? I'm assuming this is a 1930s
Right, like a biplane with like the sea landing gear on it that's also been modified to land on ground.
It's pretty chunky.
And you see this other
basically made of balsa wood.
Right, and you see this other woman dressed effectively a lot closer to what I imagine you're wearing. Kind of a jumpsuit with various pockets, brown hair pulled back, almost no makeup, and she says, "You are Rebecca Smythe, correct?"
Who's asking?
My name is Ro. This is really not. There's a lot to explain, but it is a matter of grand importance that you come with us. I promise we will return you unharmed. But also, there's probably no way that the security in this building didn't notice us land a plane on the roof.
Who sent you?
I mean, it's pretty loud.
I sent me.
Well, that gives me no reason to come with you.
I found your name in a database that I need your help destroying or stealing information from and destroying. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
Apparently, it's about some sort of significant crisis. Ooh.
What's the pay?
You want money?
I mean, you're asking me to steal something for you. Yes, that's normally how this kind of thing works.
I'm asking you to steal something for everybody. Look, they have detailed information on you that I would assume you do not want people to have access to in general, compounded by the fact that they have a nefarious plot for this information, compounded by the fact that security is going to be here in about 2 minutes.
Who's they?
I guess we could talk about it on the plane.
It's a group called the Terran Multiplicity. Does it ring any bells to you?
No.
Then I can explain on the plane.
Do you think I was born yesterday?
No, you were born, she rattles off your birth date.
Okay, so you prove that you have information about me. That's it. I'm not sure exactly why I should get on this plane with you. Especially something that doesn't look like it could fly more than a foot or two before dropping out of the sky.
She pulls a box, it looks almost like if you'd imagine like a cyberpunk pocket watch out.
Okay.
And pops it open, and a little holographic projection comes up. And she says, because security is going to be here in 45 seconds.
That sounds like a you problem.
Well, look, there's a threat, a major threat to you, to everyone you care about, to all of you. I have compiled the list of the people that I think are the best suited to address it. You're on that list. If you need treasure, if you need money, I'm sure we can find something of worth that you're welcome to have.
I do got a parachute if you want to just like leap off the plane. If you don't like this conversation later, you can borrow it. I probably want it back, but like.
Rebecca looks at Babs and says, like, clocking in her head, like the countdown of when, Ro has said security will arrive. So starts moving towards the plane and looks at Babs and says, so where do you fit in all this?
Well, I don't know.
You just are going along with it?
Yeah, why not? It sounds interesting. I'm curious about it.
Why don't you tell her where
building. That was rad.
Why don't you tell her where I picked you up, Babs?
Sort of over the southern coast, Florida.
And when was that?
That was like earlier this morning.
We had 10 seconds. Date, Babs. What was the date?
Oh, I don't know, July 17th, 1936. I can't believe it's 36 already. That's wild. What are they doing with this city? It's weird here.
Ro has now hopped onto the plane.
Yeah, Rebecca is following them onto the plane while she's grilling them about this information.
Yeah.
The door opens and you see 3 uniformed security guards run out onto the plane, or onto the roof, I should say. Babs, what would you like to do?
Yell out the window, y'all didn't see nothing, and then just nose dive off the building and start the plane.
Nothing to see here.
Don't tell the air circus.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a piloting roll. Just don't botch it. And you
don't donk it up. Yeah. Yes. Oh no, it's a 9. I was like, aren't these all 6s? No, 2 of them are 9s. Okay, so 3.
All right. You just effectively roll the plane forward and it starts just nose diving off the edge of this building. You drop about 20 stories before the engines kick on and you
Wow!
pull it back up. Ro, you can tell that Ro is like nervous and discombobulated and
Rebecca, same. Like, not okay at all. Like,
she says,
having the time of her life right now.
She says, look, I know that this is a lot to take in, okay, but I am from a parallel present. In that parallel present, there is a group who seeks to conquer. They've already conquered their world. They seek to conquer every other variation of the world. How much do you know about quantum physics?
very little.
The best way to explain it is anytime you make a decision, and mostly important ones, but sometimes not important ones, a different variation of reality sort of breaks off. Where I'm from, they've figured out how to travel between those places. And because the people where I'm from are not particularly nice, they have done so with an eye toward conquest. They've found a extremely detailed database on a wide array of supernatural happenings. However, the reality where they discovered this Babel dossier, they also discovered a technology there that has allowed them to plug it into this database and sift through the timelines to pull the pertinent information for a targeted timeline. I can't stress enough how bad this could be. So the reason I've pulled you all together is so that we can get in to that place and extract or destroy, probably preferably destroy, the database and the technology that allows them to reach across dimensional lines for that information. I know that sounds nuts, but if you'll endure one more jump.
That's regular. I was dealing with weird fascists, sky fascists, ground fascists, a giant mechanical spider like a week ago. Don't worry about it, this is regular. Spiders can swim, apparently, if they're made of metal. I was very startled.
Spiders can walk on water.
What? You learn something every day? Huh. Wait, one more stop. Where are we going now?
Well, if you doubt what I have to say, maybe the next stop will alleviate some of those concerns. Go ahead and punch in the next set of coordinates, Babs.
Beep, boop, bop, pop, beep, boop, 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 bop.
As you do so, there's like a crack of thunder as you swoop underneath what appears to be a Zeppelin. Like barely missing it by the top. You kind of turn past a group of woolly mammoths. You see a couple of guys with jetpacks kind of fly past and confusedly wave at you for a moment.
Wait, back. Y'all see the elephant in a sweater? Oh my gosh.
And then the realities settle, and you see mountain range ahead of you. Various, you're above the tree line. And Rose says, "What's the chance you can put us down on one of those mountaintops?"
I mean, well, now that you've asked, pretty good, because this sounds fun. Which one?
She pulls out the watch and looks at it and says, "That one right there," points at a mountaintop that you see that the peaks that are nearby all seem to be covered in snow. This one seems like all the snow is gone from it. It also looks like the top row of the tree line has been knocked flat.
Is someone making a runway up here? Doing a garbage job?
Not exactly.
Well, we'll go attempt to land on it.
All right. Go ahead and give me another piloting check if you don't mind.
I'm glad this is the one die roll Babs is really good at. Oh. Okay, so 90808. Nope, so 5.
Excellent. Aurora, you have just recently been spending some time with your group, having signed your contract to be municipal defenders. You're still spending your downtime working with Rocky on getting his powers kind of in order. As such, you've been doing a lot of traveling back and forth to Colorado.
All right.
You had asked to stay behind as the rest of the group sort of returned to the spa to kind of get a look at the damage, the effect of Rocky using his powers on this mountaintop. And as you're examining the area, you see a circa 1930s biplane come swooping past and screech to a landing probably 100 yards from where you're standing.
Oh dear. She has 0 in science. He has 1 in intelligence, 0 in piloting. It looks like a toaster to her. That just kind of crashed in the distance. He has no idea what's going on. First reaction is just to take out a phone.
It looks like a real weird boat with wings sticking out of it and a little cockpit sitting on top. It is a bizarre plane.
As you take out your phone and focus your camera on you see a very disturbing sight as you're pretty sure it's you. It's definitely you dormed down, and you probably wouldn't do that with your hair, but step out of the plane.
Okay. Okay. I mean, this has to be like a video or something. This has to be like a bit. They're setting me up or something, right? Oh god.
Are Rebecca and Babs also getting out of the plane? Right, so you see,
Yes.
so you see these other two step out as well.
I
Again,
think Bows will open the door and sort of sit on it at the entrance up where people get in, just in case we need to go running dramatically from space security or something.
all right. And is Aurora currently in all of her splendor, or is she dormed down as she's surveying this damage?
I think. But it depends. Was she training too, or was she just there to observe Rocky?
I mean, I would assume that you were probably engaging in a little bit of training as well, but that portion is kind of done. You may have wanted to stick around to see the result of your own work, kind of do like a self-confidence check. And you can fly to this. The spa is just a couple mountains over, so you can fly over.
Fly. I can
You can glide
glide.
over. So it's really up to you if you would be.
I mean, just seeing like this total devastation, probably, and having like constant self-esteem hits, she might have stayed behind a little bit to practice more and just kind of look at the whole disaster. So I think that she might actually still be in her train-up gear, where she's just like, oh, I don't feel like I can catch up. This just feels like, is this what natural talent is like? For the first time, someone else who's the new person, and they're just so much more like powerful than her. She sparkles. That's pretty damn cool. She's happy with that. She wouldn't want that like anything else, but she just wished that it would, she feels a little bit small now. All that previous high of like, oh yeah, no, I'm so special. Clearly, I was meant for something, and then to just like, oh, well, I guess I'm just like, maybe not that special after all, and I have to really put in effort to amount to anything, really.
Well,
So
that's terribly sad. But in
don't
light,
worry, she still wants to be famous.
in light of,
She still wants it. She's willing to do the work.
so in light of that, correct me if I'm wrong, you're currently illuminated then, correct? And if you could just describe for us kind of the costume that they see as they step off.
All right, so it's her latest outfit where she's still dressed in orange, of course, but it has gone through a very a little bit of a character arc and hardening, so now it's more proper and useful. No longer are there like frills and such, so it looks almost a bit like a jumpsuit. It's covered in feathers still. She hasn't gotten over that part of embellishment and such, but she has ditched most of the ribbons, gone for something a little bit more practical.
Are the feathers also orange?
The feathers are white.
Mm.
But they might have gotten a bit brown because they take on colors and dirt so fast. She is rethinking her choice, but
Nice. And she has an anima banner, correct? Like she's like glow. There's an actual glow that accompanies her. Is that correct?
yes, her hair and her eyes are glowing.
Excellent.
Did we have a description from Rebecca too? I don't remember if we had one earlier.
Oh, sorry. Rebecca is she's got black hair cut short, kind of wearing, well, right now wearing all black, tight-fitting clothes because in a harness because she was breaking into somewhere. And that's what she has on. So she looks very nondescript right now.
Excellent. So yeah, that's what you all see. And Ro steps forward and like kind of calls out and says, "Aurora."
Yeah, that's me. Hi. It's just confused, just kind of filming, completely like, oh, it has to be a bit, hasn't it? They probably noticed that I was feeling a bit down, and now they're trying to prank me. And all right, I'm just gonna go along with it. So, what are you doing here? Oh my god, what's going on? Wow, the typical TikTok voice where they're just ending everything, just kind of like this. And oh my god, you guys, this is so strange. What is this toaster that you're flying?
She says, "It's a ship. We need your help." And I had kind of promised them that we would make clear that I was telling the truth about being you from a divergent reality. So could you by chance turn off the show for a moment?
Okay. I mean, that's the good part. I guess we can just apply a filter later on then. So she de-transforms. It's not as flashy as when she transforms. Everything's just kind of like the light slowly dims, and it's very much the average person that you would see on the street. Shoulder long hair, maybe a little bit on the dirt blonde, brown hair, and yeah, clothes are maybe from 2 years ago, so it's a bit tough having to buy feathers all the time.
So yeah, it becomes very clear as she dorms down that this is, if it's not Ro, it's a very close relative. They have the same facial structure, the same eyes. Hair's a little different. Build is a little different. Ro seems a little bit more muscular.
Rebecca isn't saying anything. She's kind of taking in her surroundings. We literally just went from a skyscraper in New York to a mountaintop in the blink of an eye. So she's a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's fair. Ro walks over and pulls out from one of her pouches a packet of what look like airline peanuts, and hands them to Rebecca.
She just, without thinking, just kind of opens them and starts eating them.
She nods and says, "I know it's a lot to take in."
Snacks in the pockets.
For all of you. But as I just explained to my other fellow travelers, Aurora, we need your help. There's a threat that extends beyond this world that my research indicates that you are uniquely equipped to help us cope with.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, who set you up for this? It had to be Mixie, didn't she? She just wants me to feel loved and needed. Oh, she's so sweet. I just love her so much. I do think it's a bit creepy though, with how you you could have gotten my good side if you wanted to look like me. This is a bit.
Yeah, this isn't a bit. I don't know Nixie. I've read about her a little.
Okay. Then. Okay. I'm. Okay. I mean. Okay. Wait. What?
Is there like? I mean, I could put some coffee on if you want to sit and chat for a bit.
Yeah,
You've got a coffee machine in there?
Of course I have oh my gosh, do you not have a coffee machine you're playing? Oh my goodness.
we're not in any immediate threat at the moment. I would recommend against reaching out to your friends, Aurora. We don't need to complicate matters, and frankly, I'm nervous about bringing you along, let alone more of you.
How reliable? What do you mean?
What I mean is that you're extremely dangerous, and I am already nervous about bringing one nuke to a gunfight. I don't want to bring 4.
Yeah, I know. Ooh, superpower scary. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Superpowers? Amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, also
I
like
want to know more about that.
superpowers?
What?
See, I saw the bird suit, and I assumed you were like a member of the Skyrin's bird army. But you seem pretty chill. So now I want to know about these things.
What's a
Bird
Skyrim?
arm. Excuse you. They're supposed to be wings like an angel. Hello.
Right. Oh, okay, I can see that now. Now they say it. Mm-hmm.
Rose says, where we're at right now is the year 2028. They're
just gobsmacked.
there was a thing that happened and people got superpowers. It's complicated.
Indeed, that is not that far in the future.
No, it sure isn't. Not for you.
I mean, isn't that? God. Oh wait, there was a Hammersmith incident like what, 12 years ago? So it's not like a century. Math, not my strong suit.
Yeah,
There was another incident. Oh my goodness.
just really brief. I feel like we're getting off the mark here. Really briefly, there was
I'm just excited.
there was another incident. Yes, that was similar to the Hammersmith, but instead of creating people like you, it created people like Aurora.
Oh, I'm just dashing. I ain't special.
Well, you're obviously special, or I wouldn't be here.
Aw, you're so sweet.
So, yeah, we can talk about this here, or we can talk about it on the road. It is entirely up to you, or up to your comfort. We're not in any immediate danger.
So this thing also drives?
That's what I was wondering.
Well, I meant
sorta
in the
Oh,
sky. I have a base of operations that we can return to if you're willing to join us.
In your dimension?
Correct.
I mean,
Wait a minute. Are we all from different dimensions?
Yes.
Rebecca is now also like overwhelmed again, like, trying to wrap her head around this concept.
Well, I think that's pretty neat.
I was able to, when I accessed the Babel dossier, I was able to run an algorithm that would point me to the individuals that would have the highest statistical likelihood of getting past the security and being able to affect the device. I've been working undercover for the Multiplicity's tactical division for almost 2 years now. I didn't anticipate discovering this problem, but now that I have, I feel like I need to address it. So I stole the flux drive and I found a reasonably well hidden dimensional portal, which was where I steered you two, Babs.
I mean, I was just startled that you landed in the plane. Usually people land on the roof. It's very
Well,
confusing.
you flew through the portal. I'm very lucky I was able to time it the way I was, because, you know, getting ripped in half at 500 miles an hour or whatever your plane's flying Probably wouldn't have been fun.
That's so fast. Not that fast.
She says, I don't know. I didn't check the speedometer. I know it's a lot to take in. And we should take that in over the course of this 10-minute break we're going to go ahead and take. Because we are scheduled for 3 hours. So we're going to go ahead and take 10 minutes just to rehydrate and handle our biological and technological needs. While we are away on break, I would highly encourage you head over to BackerKit if you've not yet done so, and pre-order your copy of the Trinity Continuum Player's Guide. It is currently, we've got the base goal funded, several stretch goals unlocked, and we just sent out chapter 3, I believe, this morning to backers. So head over there, get your advanced look at the manuscript, and hang out. We will be back in about 10 minutes.
See y'all soon.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to twitch.tv/the Onyx Path. Or if tech is doing its job, also simulcast over at the Backer Kit page. I'm going to go ahead and share that again because that is the reason for our season. If you've not yet done so, please head over and consider throwing your support behind the Trinity Continuum Player's Guide Backer Kit. As you can see, we've got 9 days left, and we are well into getting some stretch goals unlocked. We would like to see a lot more unlocked so we can expand this material as much as possible. The previews are going out. I think the 3rd chapter just went out this morning to backers. So anybody who backs it, I believe it's the $5 level, get access to those previews, and then you can decide if you want to increase your support down the road. As Kelly, Dr. Tom, has joined us, we're going to just take a real quick pause to go over, just make sure that any yes goes and no goes have been added. Kelly, you're familiar with, we do the X card here.
Absolutely.
And our base safety tools. But I did just want to see, we have our no-go list, our SA, harm to domesticated animals, needle-oriented medical damage to Bunny, gratuitous violence, player agency breaks, so any sort of taking away player agency, and self-harm or suicide. Do you have any no-goes that you want to add to the list?
No, that all covers me, actually.
Rock and roll. Our current yes goes are vampires, retro future adventurous nonsense, and melodrama. Are there any yes goes you would like to add to this?
One-on-one tough man fights.
Okay, excellent.
Like 80s style.
Like put on the glasses style, like
the whole, the on top of a helicarrier, wiping blood off your mouth. Going, all right, tough guy. Kind of those ones. Like the Indiana Jones in front of the Raiders fight with the Nazi in the propeller plane, like that type of fight.
Excellent.
Or honestly, anytime that actor fought Harrison Ford in any of those movies, because he did it like 6 times. Whenever there's a big guy, it's the same guy. Ironic harm, I'm big on. Getting hoisted by our own petard. And retrofuturism. Or we're time traveling, right?
Yes.
Bill and Ted style medieval shenanigans? I don't know.
All right. We've got vampires too. I'm sure I can work something out.
Yeah. Vampires
I
could
mean,
work.
the vampires just sort of appeared, but they are pretty fun. Yes, go. So.
They are fun.
Friendly Frankensteins? I don't know.
Rock and roll. And Dr. Tom.
And rock and roll.
Dr. Tom is a talent. And when last we saw him, he had been adventuring with some allies and friends as part of the Phoebe Trust. So what have you spent your XP that you were given, the 20 plus whatever you had laying around?
I was gonna wait until after I saw like what we were playing and what we were going into, but I can do it before our next session if that works.
That works for me.
He'll just adapt.
Sure. As before the break, Ro, this dimension traveler who claims that there is a horrible force known as the Terran Multiplicity who have devised a way to access this document known as the Babel dossier from various realities, sort of pulling information from any reality that they could hope to target for conquest. She's assembling a team to try to get this taken offline, probably destroyed. And she has visited so far Babs, who was retrieved from midair with her plane intact. Rebecca, who was taken at the scene of a heist, and now they are atop a mountaintop in Colorado, talking with Aurora. and you'd all just kind of sit down to take a breather and think things through. Tom obviously has not yet been reached. So during this, while you're kind of sitting, did Aurora have any questions? Did any of you have any questions for Ro?
She had a lot of questions. Most of them might have seemed a bit nonsensical, where it's like, okay, so you're me, but you don't know what I had for lunch, but you say that you are me. You're another version of me. You're okay.
I'm a version of you who grew up in a fascist society that has the capacity.
That's the thing, right?
Well, I'm
Or
not.
maybe
I'm
it's
not a
more
big
on
fan
this-
of relative suffering, but
Is it okay? So it's more on that scale. It's not okay. Cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
it's not cool. Sorry. It's
understandable. No, it's pretty miserable. But and I don't have superpowers. That event didn't occur where I'm from.
okay. She's just thinking to herself, she's like, wow, okay. Maybe I should be more thankful for it, what I have, because it sounds like this version of me got like a short stick of it.
That's fair.
Mm.
Did Bunny or Rebecca have any addition? I keep calling you Bunny. Did Babs or Rebecca have any?
I mean, B words. I mean, I think
additional
Babs is happy to be
questions or
along for whatever the hell this wild nonsense adventure is going to be. So she's just making people coffee.
Excellent. So yeah, taking the full advantage of the coffee maker that was installed on the plane.
Rebecca will also take advantage of that.
Excellent. So yeah, you're just kind of sipping the coffee, and Rose says, "Look, I know it's a lot to take in, but I've run simulations, and the chances of us surviving without you along, if something goes wrong, Aurora, are drastically lower than if you're there."
I mean, you guys can like travel through like time, I guess, or how does that thing like work? Because it's like it's like if I'm not allowed to say anything to my friends who are gonna be like waiting for me, it's like it's fine. Just try like as long as we come back to like this time later on, so they don't know or have to worry that I'm gone. I think that's like all right.
We
Oh,
should.
Do you have some sugar for this? It's really bitter. I don't.
I
don't
do,
like
yes.
milk.
I have the little cubes. They're so fancy. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
She says every point on the continuum has a space-time coordinate. We can theoretically bring you back relatively quickly to when we take off. That shouldn't be a problem.
So internally, Aurora is like, maybe this is the opportunity that I've actually really wanted to catch up, because if I can go back in time and train and become stronger and then go back to this time, I will have had the advantage of spending time and bettering myself. And then maybe then I can finally catch up and I don't have to feel so bad and inferior in comparison to everyone else. This is awesome. I will take this opportunity to go back in time to train.
Speaking of Bill and Ted style shenanigans, cool. You all hop on the plane then after enjoying your coffee, and Rose says, "All right, well, one more pit stop, and then we'll head home. We will be the drive will be out of energy. We won't be able to use it for a couple of days, but we won't need to theoretically."
It's good to me. What are the coordinates?
She lists them off to you.
She'll beep boop them in.
All right. As you fly through, this is the first time that you witness this, Aurora. You take off flying, and almost immediately, as soon as Babs hits the last button on the coordinates, the sky seems to be gone. Not so much like night sky, but like you get the very clear sense that you're in space. And for just a moment, you feel weightless. And then you all kind of slam back down into your chairs as you fly past a series of hot air balloons that all seem to have like rockets strapped to them and strange weaponry.
No, that's my home. Look at them go, freaking Skyrim. Screw you guys.
And after cycling through a couple of other fantastical landscapes, you come out over a bay. Rose says, if you can put us down in the water here, our target's in a safe house not far from here.
Sure. It's nice to get to land in the water for once.
You do so relatively easily. This plane is designed for that. No trouble, no worries. And she says to Aurora, you might want to stay mellow.
Mellow.
Okay. I think she doesn't want me to transform.
Yeah, not here. That might be a bad idea.
All right. I'll act as cool as a cucumber.
All right. You hop off the plane, and Rose starts walking you up the beach of the bay, and you get probably about 500 yards or so from where the seaplane has landed, and you can see there's kind of a cabin in the background. Dr. Tom, you have headed to this safe house where you're theoretically supposed to be rendezvousing with the rest of your team after another attempt to retrieve some of the technology, some of the stolen technology about the Carnicata process. You were the first. You all got separated, and you were the first one to make your way back to the safe house.
Nice.
As you're kind of sitting there waiting on them, you see this band of four folk come kind of walking up the front, like walkway leading up to the cabin. And once again, just as Kelly wasn't here, if you could all describe yourselves. Let's start it off with Rebecca. If you could tell us kind of what Rebecca looks like.
Rebecca has black hair, cut really short, and she is wearing an entirely black form-fitting outfit with a couple of harnesses and some like belt pouches, but is otherwise pretty nondescript. She honestly looks like she's preparing to go break into or infiltrate something.
Excellent. And in your current guise, Aurora, what do you look like?
So she looks rather average, I would say. There might be a black jacket, white top, and jeans that have been torn at the knees, but not from climbing trees. It was done in a factory.
And then Babs, if you could.
Sure. I mean, Babs looks like she should be in black and white. She's wearing very, very old style, but looks like mostly masculine genre of clothes. She has a shoulder holster over her vest with a very old and garbage-looking pistol in it. And she does not have bunny ears or slime on her head, although they're there just because I can't get rid of them.
Okay.
Yeah. But
right.
otherwise, mostly looks like this.
And the fourth person looks a lot like Aurora. Like they could be sisters for sure. But dressed more like Rebecca in terms of like in like a overall bodysuit with belt with a lot of pouches on it. And they're just
Okay.
kind of meandering their way up. You've never seen any of these people before.
And this is like a cabin in the middle of like nowhere, right?
Right. You're on a bay, like northern, like the northern part of the Massachusetts coast, we'll say.
Shit. Okay. Look around the place. Is there like, I don't know, a gun or a baseball bat or a frying pan or anything?
I mean, it's a safe house, so I would assume there would be some weapons at your disposal.
Okay, so he's just going to like grab like a, I don't know, like a revolver or something for cinema's sake, and is going to walk up to the door, put it behind the door, and open it with his other hand. Hi. And Tom is about 6'3", 6'4", very like he looks like he probably played like college sports and then got dad bod. Like he is just like all of the muscle kind of melted down into like this big like stack of beef through the midsection. He's got a perpetual almost beard. And would probably be cast as he definitely would be a dad in a show like Stranger Things. We'll just say that. He's definitely the actor fell out of my head right now.
Got David Harbour vibes.
He definitely has the David Harbour vibe. Definitely has the David Harbour vibe. Might have even found the hidden bottle of scotch inside of this place.
Excellent.
He'll adjust his glasses and. Can I help you, ladies?
Well, howdy.
Oh, hi.
Sorry. Turn the porch light on.
Roe says, Dr. Hodge?
That all depends. Who's asking?
My name is Roe. These are my associates, Aurora.
Me and Wade?
No. You have a sense of humor. That'll come in handy. These are my associates, Aurora, Babs, and Rebecca. This is going to sound really weird, but
Your car broke down.
No.
No, it's plain, but it's not broken.
Yeah, we do have a plane about just down the way at the bay. I understand that you are accustomed to the unusual, that you do a lot of work with a group called the Phoebe Trust. I know that me bringing that up probably is a bit of a red flag for you, but I'm telling you that I know that so that you will hopefully know that I'm telling you the truth. I have come here from a parallel existence to your own. Because your world, as well as all of ours, is in a great deal of danger. And according to my research, you are highly suited for assisting us in preventing a problem.
You want the Dr. Tom at the next cabin. Start to shut the door.
She says they have a file on all of you.
Yeah, who's they?
I look, I asked all these same questions. I literally went through all of this, looks at a non-existent watch, 20 minutes ago. And I've seen some weird ass shit in the intervening few minutes. We're all from different dimensions. And this Roe person is on a mission to save all dimensions from a group of people who are attempting to destroy every dimension they can get their hands on. I didn't believe it either. I know it sounds wacky, but then I went through a dimensional portal and now I believe. So
Yeah, you came from hanging out with Sean Connery, Catherine Zeta-Jones? Nice outfit, by the way.
I was in the middle of a heist.
Oh, what? A heist?
Yes.
Heist?
I was stealing,
You
and she
didn't tell
pulls
me
out.
You were doing a heist. Oh my gosh.
She pulls out a USB drive and says, "Yeah, I was stealing this from a multi-billionaire."
Multi-billionaires have the least to lose. Why would you do that?
With a B?
All right, if
With
you're
a
from
B,
another
yes.
dimension, prove it.
Sure.
Oh, can I go? Can I go?
What year is it here?
2020. What year is it? Is it 2022 still, or is it 23?
It's 23.
2023 AD.
Still so weird.
I mean, it's unsubtle, but if I guess Aurora, if you want to,
Yep.
Oh, yes.
She's from the future.
Am I?
From his
LLC case.
future.
Okay. So she starts her magical girl transformation, and
It's like a whole
extremely
transformation
happy.
sequence.
Oh yes.
Oh,
yes.
amazing.
If allowed, it would be so.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Lots of like different lights just kind of like comes up from the ground, surrounds her, just kind of dances around like will wisps. She starts to glow, and it immediately starts with like her hair grows out and long, and it's golden, and then her eyes also turn golden, and then you have her new outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That reflects the seriousness of her latest character arc that's happened off screen. So
This is what I'm here for.
So it's an orange jumpsuit with I would say like almost a cape of feathers, and she also has a pair of angel wings now. Angel wings, not bird wings, angel wings. Very, very important. And she's still kept like this very large ribbon in the middle.
Okay. So he's gonna fall backwards, looking at that, land on the ground. Door opens. He's got a gun in one hand. He's got a bottle of like one of those old like Mickeys, like with about this much of the bottle. The other one, like laying on the ground. What the fuck was that?
Proof you asked for.
It's my transformation. What do you think?
I think we're gonna need more of this.
My understanding, Doctor, is that you, among your specialties, are an uncanny ability to diagnose diseases and genetic conditions, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and examine her. You'll find that she has a condition that doesn't exist here.
I mean, normally I'm good at checking what exists, but all right. He's gonna like kind of grab his medical bag, kind of like keeping the gun at his hip level, basically. Although it's pretty obvious he's not very good with it. What would you like me to roll? Or medicine and.
Well, you have, if I'm not mistaken, you have the doctor diagnosis
right.
gift, right?
I have instant diagnosis.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. So
you immediately recognize that there's some sort of genetic condition at play that's causing her to emanate a low level of seemingly harmless radiation. It's like nothing that you've encountered before. It's definitely not the psi radiation that the Phoebe Trust draws on.
did you get bit by a radioactive cockatiel?
No. And also, hello, stopping with the birds. Okay, it's not birds.
Well, you know how stupid getting bit by a radioactive angel sounds?
No one got bit, okay? That's not what I'm going to be putting in my biography.
Do you know about the Hammersmith incident that happened back in like the 20s?
I think it was mentioned actually, Travis. So, yeah.
Apparently something like that happens again in the future, and people like her happen.
We get.
In a possible future that is
Are you-
not that is diverged from this one.
You telling me we get superheroes?
Apparently.
You might not,
Holds
but
up the bottle. Jeez.
but people do.
All right. Space people. Show. You said you have a ship?
I mean,
A plane?
we have a plane.
It's plain.
From
Why that?
1934.
What if you got superheroes and?
It's more than just a couple of years old. It's from like the early, like 1931 model, but made some adjustments. It's still
Really
pretty.
nice.
You don't gotta get the latest plane,
Yeah. What do you got out there?
Right this way.
It's made out of wood.
What? What else are you gonna make a plane out of, fancy weirdos?
Plastic. Metal.
Plane is
Ceramics.
Ceramics. Yes. There's so many other things.
like for pottery. Goodness.
No. No.
Yeah. Let me grab my bag. I gotta see this thing.
I mean, and there's metal in it. It's not all wood. It's not like it grew a tree with wings. Aurora, can you grow a tree with wings?
And
Is that your superpower? You can give wings to things?
I mean, I'm not.
What's your superhero
scientist.
name? Red Bull.
What is your superhero name?
Well, it was supposed to be. So I had a name planned, and it was. I kind of already forgotten it, but it was essentially I just wanted to have a matching name with one of my idols. So I was supposed to be the goddess of dawn and introduce myself as that, but I got so nervous that I just kind of introduced by my normal name, and so now everyone thinks my superhero name is my normal name, and yeah, it's so anyway, you could just call me Aurora, I suppose.
There's nothing wrong with being Canadian.
Are you
Am I
Canadian?
Got the Aurora Borealis, right?
Is that a superpower?
Is being Canadian a superpower?
I mean,
I think it was in the 30s, but honestly, these days it just seems like a good getaway. But what do I know?
Rose starts walking and says, "We're burning daylight."
I thought you had a time machine.
I mean, kinda.
Is this one of those weird Back to the Future things where it keeps going even though it doesn't keep? That wasn't Back to the Future.
Oh,
When was it?
you're thinking of the clock in San Dimas is always ticking.
Bill and Ted. Yeah. Yeah, Bill and Ted.
What is this Bill and Ted you keep talking about?
same question.
It's a movie.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
No, never heard of it. I guess it wasn't very big, huh?
It was. Wait a minute. Are you saying you guys don't have Keanu Reeves?
No, we have Keanu Reeves.
I
I'm really
mean,
tempted to make the joke that, of course, from the 30s, Keanu Reeves.
Do it. Keanu Reeves exists along any timeline.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
we have
Rename the
we have-
book.
We have politician
The Keanu
Keanu Reeves,
Continuum.
yes, but he's not an actor.
I just don't think that's how you pronounce his name. So something like Keanu, I think, more something like that. I don't know. I've only like read it. I've never heard it.
Hey, wait, if he's not an actor, what is he?
He's a senator.
No, I think he's a vlogger. I'm just not into that. It's,
You know what,
I
the more
should be
things-
because that's where I want to break in. But
And let me guess, Keanu Reeves is in the 1930s too?
I got no idea who that is. Sorry.
I can't imagine
we
he's
got,
been
we got
born yet.
Chaplin. got the hat tip with a mechanical arm. It's so cool. My goodness. And I hear they're putting sound in movies. Y'all get sound in your movies?
Yeah,
Yes.
Too much. Too much.
It's so exciting. So exciting.
Well, maybe we can stop and watch one, after we've saved the worlds.
Sounds good to me.
You guys got you got coffee on your plane? I was post gaming a bit.
Excellent.
What kind of game?
The get shit faced in a safe house kind of game.
They're familiar. It's a good game.
I was winning.
Well, you're in luck.
Congratulations.
We're headed to another safe house.
All right, but if this turns out to be some sort of prank, I'm gonna be real cross.
That's fair. I tell you what,
Yeah.
if I'm making this up, you can punch me right in my face.
I'm not gonna punch you in the face. You're like a little girl.
I'm not little.
You're the same size as her when she's not Auroraed up.
She's me, but she doesn't know what I had for lunch because she's from another time.
Okay, but you're both little. Like, what are you? You're like 5 something. I'm like 6 something.
Oh, okay, big man. Ooh.
You don't. Haven't you ever heard about not punching down?
I have a deep appreciation for the chivalry in your dimension. Can we move, please?
All right. Well, fine. He's gonna.
As you all pile into the vehicle, get one final set of coordinates.
A ladybug just landed on my face. One moment. What is my life?
Friendo, when I was growing up, my bedroom got infested with them. Like they burrowed into the attic through like a hole next to my light bulb. Ooh, don't eat a ladybug by mistake. They taste awful. That's their natural
These are
defense.
the orange ones, right?
Wow.
Yeah, the orange ones.
Well, I had one crawl
Maybe
inside of a
beetles?
Coke can that I was drinking and then took a swig. And their natural defense is intense bitterness.
Oh,
Yeah.
ew.
Same as ones out here. So the orange ones are technically different than the red ones. They're like a different species. They just are the same like crabs, but they're so weird. They'll bite you too, apparently.
Oh.
What?
Well-
I never got bit. I just had one on my glasses when I woke up one day, and of course, it's much larger when it's on your glasses.
Right. it's a plan perspective.
Ambushed.
As the plane takes off, you fly through a dimension that's entirely made of ladybugs. You fly through past another flying saucer, and through
That guy.
what appears to be a world of intermixed colors and fluids, like paint, and then again slam back into a regular reality, where you're flying through a rainstorm, and in the distance below you, you can see what looks like a fenced off area with like a bunker and an actual like regular old runway ahead of you.
Now that is luxurious.
Did any of you guys see that too?
Yeah, it happened a couple of times.
Do
Hey, what, ladybugs?
Yeah, the flux drive takes some time getting where it's going. Sometimes it doesn't always quite work the way it's supposed to. And as soon as Rose says that, sparks start shooting out of the flux drive, and it catches fire.
You guys are new at this.
First time, actually, yes.
She fell out of the sky into my plane. It was very confusing.
I'm not new at this, but I think we might have pushed this thing a little further than it needs to be pushed. Don't worry, I can probably fix it.
Just need some plutonium.
It's not like erupting in flames that's going to risk the plane, is it?
No, I mean, it's just like a little, you can kind of pad it out real quick.
Okay. We don't need our 1930s fire extinguishing equipment.
A blanket?
Spray a little bit of water on it.
Yeah.
As you land, she says, "This is the safe house that I've managed to set up. We have some gear here. I have intel on the facility that we need to break into. There's quarters set up for everybody. I tried to make it as comfortable as I could."
Thanks.
Frankly, I'm excited. It's been at least a week since I was involved in a heist. So
Well, right this way. She walks you inside. As you walk in, it's set up. Yeah, you can see there's kind of like a common room. Off to the left, you can see what looks like a map room. There's various screens and knobs, and everything has kind of a sleek, almost tubular design to it. And then off to your right is a hallway that appears to have quarters separated off from it. In the back of the common area, you see there's like a kitchenette. She says, "Come on in, make yourselves at home."
Yeah. Do you guys got anything to eat?
Help yourself to the kitchenette. I'm going to see what I can do about this drive. She walks over into the map room and starts tinkering with it.
And muffins.
it's fine. So I assume we're stuck here for a bit.
Oh, I have so many questions there. Like those bugs, do you guys know if that's a dimension by itself?
Yes.
The bug dimension?
Can we not save that one, please? I'm fine leaving that one.
Can we just not save?
But they were ladybugs.
Hey, is there like a dimensional ecosystem where like the dimensions have to be in balance? Like, do those bugs affect a different one? Is there some sort of like?
I certainly hope not.
Oh my god, consequences.
If there
People
is,
things.
the Terran multiplicity is a much bigger threat than I thought.
I mean, the guys from Star Trek?
No, not the Terran Empire, the Terran multiplicity.
Oh, my mistake.
She says, "Yeah, I've got all the information here we need to plan the heist. If you want to rest, get comfortable, chow down, sleep, we can do that. Otherwise, more than happy to go over what we've got to go over."
I'm just waking up. Like,
I think I'm too excited to sleep, but at the same time, I might just be able to. But,
so you're a superhero. You're a super spy thief thing. What's your deal? Pointing at Babs.
She has the
I'm a
plane.
pilot.
Okay.
Rose says, "How good are you with learning new pilot systems?"
I found something I couldn't fly yet.
Good. I do have one of the. I have an Air Force vehicle that theoretically they don't realize is stolen.
Air Force.
So I may have you fly us into the complex. The place we're going is in Chicago.
I love Chi-Town.
It's under heavy guard. But I think flying us in is probably the easiest way for us to get access.
Makes sense to me. I always love flying in Chicago. It's pretty.
You might find
What,
it a little different.
Yeah, what's the deal with this
Blackstone.
Chicago?
The Multiplicity's headquarters is most of the city of Chicago now. Though it centers on a building called the Cube.
The Cube.
And it's kind of a massive operations headquarter. It's also the home of the database, and it's where they've installed the, I guess, temporal transceiver that's allowing them to access the various different realities documents.
So why are they trying to blow up the multi worlds?
Oh, they're not. They're trying to take over.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
The
marginally
multiplicity exhausted all of their natural resources of this world probably about 100 years ago,
better.
but discovered the existence of alternate realities. Since then,
Yeah. Oh,
society's become extremely militarized, and basically we travel to other worlds, take what we need. It's conquest and colonization.
makes sense.
Sounds like jerks.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
So
But
basically, we're talking about like space is better, interdimensional, what, like Nazis,
I mean,
that kind of thing.
sure, I suppose they're
Those
comparable.
guys.
They got stuck up imperial cool uniforms.
I mean, they're definitely they definitely fit the template, though their motivations are purely economic, I guess you could say. It's just about conquering and exploiting resources.
Okay. I always wanted to punch a Nazi. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you should have an opportunity.
Well, gotta come back with me. Chock full of the jerks. Cripes.
Oh yeah. When are you from?
1936?
Oh yeah, you're about to get a lot more. There's a lot of punching
Serious?
coming your way.
It's a sky tyrant and ground. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they let that guy out of jail, and it just goes to hell.
Dr. Zorbo.
One could get into a little bit of stickiness, assuming that what is true in one dimension is true in another. But having said that, I have databases. You can familiarize yourself with our history. You can look at our programming. You're here. We've got our target. How would you all like to tackle this? What would you like to do?
Well, it sounds like a heist. So I feel that's sort of your expertise, nice lady.
I mean, yes, we need a way in. We need to know where the target is. And we need a way out. We also need to know what kind of security they have.
She says, if you want to join me, and walks into the map room and brings up like a holographic 3D projection of the cube.
All right.
She says, with the stolen flyer, as long as the transponder hasn't been compromised, we should be able to just fly in and land in the hangar on the top level of the cube. The database is unfortunately in the 6th sub basement. So we'll need to figure out a way past security all the way down to the sub basement. Ideally, be able to crack the interior security of that region, which relies on retinal scans, DNA encode, and a handprint read to unlock the doors to the server. Once we're there, find a way to destroy or remove the transceiver that lets them read across dimensions, and then somehow get back to the roof unless we want to do a different extraction.
How do we prevent them from just making another one?
This technology was stolen from another dimension. The multiplicity doesn't always have the foresight to preserve the technicians that are responsible for the technology they steal.
Ah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not going to be. This isn't going to be an ultimate blow against them. This isn't going to end them. It's going to deprive them of a resource that makes them immeasurably more dangerous.
understandable.
Okay. Sure. You have any I don't know, any files or anything like that we can read up on these guys?
Yeah, we've got absolutely. I've got a ton of intelligence here. You're welcome to familiarize yourself with them.
So wait, if they're conquering multiverses, does that mean they've got superheroes and like laser guns?
We've never attempted to travel to any realities in which the eruption of novas occurred. No.
Well, that's good. I'd hate to fight Superman.
The multiplicity doesn't tend to pick fights that it can't win. But in terms of technology, all sorts of stuff from probably 25 different dimensions.
All right. That's better than I expected.
Is there anything in particular that you want to try to find from these documents that they have, or from the maps, from anything really? Is there any place you'd like to focus your research on?
Just personally, just to get a better sense of like what we're dealing with, I want to know if they've got like really crazy like security systems or weapons or mutants. I want to know what the weirdest thing I'm going to encounter is.
Oh, sure.
Because if this just kind of vibes like he's gonna look through stuff, and if it just kind of vibes like 20th century Earth or 21st century Earth, God, that's a weird one to start saying. We're in the future. To that, he's not going to be too impressed. But the moment they're like, and then the plasma conductor throws ropes of heated coils on opponent. Holy shit!
Sure. Go ahead and what would you like to lean on for your investigation as your
Science.
Sure. Okay. Excellent. And what attribute do you want to lean on?
How about cunning?
Sure, go for it. You're going to be at a standard difficulty because you're really just
Flipping.
Yeah, just looking through. I mean, like, there's not a language barrier. There's not the technology is not so different to what you're used to in contemporary Earth that you have an interface difficulty or anything along those lines.
Sounds good. I'm on 8, 9, 10, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 1 success.
Excellent. So there's a lot of stuff that reaches out to you, or that sticks out to you as kind of like standard sci-fi fare slash 15 minutes into the future of what you're used to dealing with in the reality of the Phoebe Trust. There are a few people who seem to be able to manipulate what they refer to as subquantum energy. Those people are generally prized in the military operations and generally sent out. They don't comprise a whole lot of the security force. Those people are generally deployed when there's an invasion. You do, however, find that one of the realities that the multiplicity has conquered is a version of Earth in which a virus broke out in the mid 1800s that spread to about 10% of the population and cause them to effectively drastically slow down their aging, develop a dependency on human plasma, and an allergy to sunlight.
Flip, flip, flip. What the fuck? Hey, ladies. Did you know they got vampires?
Ooh. Show me.
I have what?
Like, I mean, okay, well, technically it's a medical condition, but like, it's basically. Do they have big teeth, or do they just drink blood? Flip, flip, flip.
You see that the virus does tend to cause a sharpening of the canines.
Oh, they even got teeth. Look at this. Huh.
Ain't that astonishing?
You know what? I've always kind of wanted to punch a vampire too.
Rose says, well, you're in luck because several of them work in security, particularly in the cube where there's no exterior windows.
Oh, man. Nazi vampires. This is going to be fun.
Nazi vampire. Like, I did not sign up for this.
Yeah, but now you wish you did, right?
I'm excited.
I mean, I'm here, aren't I?
Oh, man. What if this ends up with us having to pilot this plane, like that plane, right through a giant vampire? Because it's a wood plane, right? That would be...
Oh, that was delightful.
We know that that's how that works.
Wait, that's
No.
not how it works, right? You have to hit them with meat.
You have to, excuse me, what?
What?
Yeah, it's a steak, right?
Not that kind of steak, Aurora.
Oh. What steak
Yeah,
is it then?
A wooden
A
one.
wooden stick.
Yeah.
Like for pitching a tent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got the most important question though.
Yes.
So we're forming like a little team, right? We gotta have a name. What are we, like the Dimensional Panthers? Like, what's the name of the crew?
Why panther? What?
I don't know. I was just hanging out with a ferret. Not really. That's his code name.
The
It's not
interdimensional
Wolfman's.
Wolverines, right? Yeah. What are you going to call ourselves?
We gotta have some kind of. It doesn't have to be an animal.
The Revengers.
I think that's already taken.
Okay, we're sort of doing it in advance though. This is
Yeah, we're like
the pre-Venger.
The Prevengers, yeah.
How about the group of people who don't necessarily want to be together, but here we are?
Oh, so we're a family.
Yeah.
Sure. That sounds wonderful. Whilst Dr. Tom is doing this research, did any of the rest of you want to kind of look over these things? We could start getting into effectively setting up some plan points for your heist,
Sure.
if you wanted to. And plan points, and Danielle, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong about this. This is effectively a currency that you build going into the heist to account for things that you might run into throughout the process. And you can expend those points while you're performing the heist to effectively... works basically along the lines of dramatic editing, correct? Where you're
Right. But it's specifically for things that like make sense for the heist.
right. So,
But instead of spending inspiration, you can spend plan points.
right, it's like building up this pool to say, oh, well, we saw this thing coming, so we can do X. So,
Sort of
as
like the those flashback prep moments and leverage, that kind of thing.
yeah, effectively, because dramatic editing you can do the same thing as that, but this is more focused directly on within the confines of the actual heist itself going forward. So, I guess in terms of that, what area of expertise would each of you like to kind of bring to the party for that? Because I believe you can, effectively you're setting up a montage for preparation. Each player can grab a milestone of that. Correct? So each one of you can focus on one aspect of the heist?
Yes. What is our heist milestone number?
So you're going to have that milestone number is, forgive me, I'm just making sure that I'm not misrepresenting the rules here. Each milestone comes off of the security rating of the area, correct?
Right. It's the initial milestones are the security rating plus the heat rating plus 2.
Okay, so you're looking at 6 then.
Okay. So is that the security? So are you implying the security rating is 4 and there's no heat?
And there's currently no heat.
Right. Okay. So all of the difficulty of these milestones will be 4.
Okay, and then additional successes can effectively generate additional plan points, correct?
I believe so. I pulled up this thing so that I can. So any character can act to try their hand at handling a milestone. So essentially, we're going to be defining the milestones. So we each can take on defining a milestone. Or we could say, we can get a plan point by saying, like, hey, Travis, you do it for us. I'll let you throw whatever hinky thing you want to. We could either role play through a milestone, or we could simply roll dice to overcome the milestones. Up to 3 characters can act together, pulling their successes. But if any of the participating players fail to get at least 1 success, the attempt is a failure. So that can be a little risky.
Right, and if anything, and I would assume if there's any sort of like a dramatic failure during the planning stages, that would add some complications to that particular milestone. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So, well, when we're planning, we don't really do any rolls. Hey, let me go to the planning section. So we can do some preparations and flashbacks, which will do some rolls, and that will give us some plan points.
Right. So effectively, the way I'm reading this and figuring we'll apply this is you're gonna have the 4 basic beats of the heist, right? You're gonna have the infill, security, MacGuffin, and escape. So getting inside, getting through from your point of entry to the MacGuffin, in this case, the server room, actually defeating the server room, and then finding ways out. So my interpretation of this, based on the preparation and flashbacks rules, is each one of you would select a milestone that you want to focus your attention on, and attribute ability, a skill attribute combination that would represent the work you're doing in that stage of planning. Successes you generate beyond the difficulty of 4 would act as plan points that you have in your pocket when we actually go forth to do it. This way we don't have to sit and do like a we don't have to have like a lengthy scene where we're discussing everything that could go wrong and all the different ways out and about. This is kind of mechanically representing that so that you have those points in the hopper to draw from. Does it make sense?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, so in the designing milestone section, so we'll each be designing a milestone, and you're going to want to come up with a dice pool and then the obstacle that we need to overcome for it. So you could say, oh, it's going to take larceny plus dexterity, and we're trying to get past a locked door. That's pretty clear. It's distinct. It could be anywhere that is the milestone itself. But you could say larceny plus dexterity with a 6-pin pin and pin lock in a reinforced steel door, or something like a residential warded lock in a hollow core door with a squeaky hinge to give it a more vivid picture or whatever. So when we're so essentially you're going to come up with the dice roll that needs to be used to overcome the milestone, and then what kind of obstacle is that we are overcoming and defining that. So each of us are going to define one of those, unless we want to get a plan point by letting Travis come up with it, which means it could be nastier than what one of us might have come up with.
Right. And for, I guess for the sake of brevity and smoothness, I would say, because we have those basic 4 beats, each one of you could take one of those beats as kind of taking ownership of that. Or again, you can, if you want to combine efforts and hand off that beat to me, that's fine. You'll get a plan point, and I'll cook something up. But just going over it again, the beats are the infiltration, security, MacGuffin, and escape. So are there any of those beats that you would like to particularly focus on for Rebecca?
I think I'll handle security. I think I think I will handle MacGuffin.
Okay.
It makes sense as the seasoned thief to be the one who is like, I will handle actually picking a lock or stealing the thing.
Okay, excellent. And what dice pool would you like to rely on for dealing with that?
So I think that we should be using larceny for it. And it makes sense if we use, I'm trying to decide if it makes more sense for dexterity or cunning. This is like a high security facility, right?
Correct. So I mean, even if you wanted to lean on intellect, that would be fine. But I would lean a little closer to cunning than dexterity, personally.
Yeah, I think cunning works for this. And remind me again, we're stealing the database?
So the idea, the general plan is you have this database that's inside of the cube that is their reality's Babel dossier.
Mm-hmm.
Attached to that database is a multidimensional transceiver that effectively lets them read the Babel dossier from any dimension that they put the coordinates into. So that's really the thing that's primary target is destroy or disable that piece of equipment, that add-on piece of equipment.
Okay, so the obstacle for getting to that MacGuffin then is going to be that we have to locate it in a server stack.
Excellent. All right. So go ahead and give me that cunning and larceny roll if you don't mind.
Oh, are we we doing the roll right now?
Oh yeah, we've set it for setting up your planning points. Yes.
Oh, okay. Right, as I planned for this. That's right. Sorry.
No, you're totally fine.
Somehow I closed my dice roller. So I was like looking for it.
Totally fine.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And roll. I get to re-roll 2 of these. So I have 4 right now.
Beautiful. That hits the base difficulty.
I did not get any additional successes. So I did hit the base difficulty of 4.
Excellent. There is 5 momentum in the pool if you want to drop some to re-roll any of those failed dice.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you, or you can hang on to it.
I think I'm good. I think that's plenty.
All right, so we're at a net of. So you hit the base difficulty, so that's 1 plot point that has been, or 1 planning point that has been generated. Excellent. So, what section would Babs like to handle?
I think the infiltration makes sense, especially if we're flying in some kind of a sick ass space plane. So why don't we start over there?
Excellent.
Gas space plane.
And what would be a particular, again, because you get to design the milestone a little bit, so what would be a particular challenge that stands in your way of.
I mean, I feel we're going to need the access codes.
Okay, excellent.
They're not
So-
just going to let us fly in without following protocol and all of that stuff. So we'll have to figure that out. Maybe we'll have an old code that will still work. Who knows?
Excellent. And in terms of planning for that, what would you like to lean on for your dice pool?
I guess I think there's a couple of options. One is we could steal it, or the other do like a pre-heist heist, or we could have some sort of technological solution where we're doing math to figure out what it's going to be. In which case, I guess it would be tech. I
Sure.
don't know if that's tech or science.
I would let you make a technology roll. What would you like to pair that with, attribute-wise?
Doesn't sound very seat of the pants, so maybe this is an intellect kind of thing.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a technology and intellect roll, please. Your
Not the
difficulty
strongest
is
of
4.
rolls for Babs, but let's see how it goes. I have 3.
Excellent.
I rolled really well, and I got 3.
Would you like to spend any momentum for those?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
We have 5 in the pool. You can spend up to the number of dice you failed.
Let's spend 2 of them because I have failed 2 dice.
Excellent.
I do not have any more successes.
Excellent. So you
I roll
have
a bunch of 4s.
no complication or no plan points and a complication of 1 to overcome that I will assign at the time that you're performing that section.
Good. I look forward to having a code that is 2 out of 8.
Wonderful. And so, Dr. Tom, what section would you like to lean on?
So we've got infiltration, escape, and what were the other ones? It was
Security and MacGuffin. There's currently one.
Oh, I got MacGuffin.
So there's currently 1 plan point in MacGuffin, which
Is there?
is
Oh, sorry.
No.
I think Danielle is muted, but yes.
which is totally fine. You can stack up 1. That just means that there will ultimately be one that I just get to decide what it is and give you.
That's fair. That's fair. Then, so we have infiltration, and then Danielle, you were going MacGuffin.
Correct.
For yours?
That's what I had done.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you went security. My bad. Okay.
Changed
then,
my mind halfway through.
Oh, fair. I was looking up inspiration stuff, so I think I zoned out for a sec.
Problem. Yeah.
I guess. Okay. So infiltration, escape. So there's just the 4, right?
Yep. Yeah, doing kind of a straightforward heist here.
Aurora, would you want to do escape or security?
So based on her skills, she's very like people orientated. So I'm kind of thinking wherever it would maybe fit for her to either try to act as a distraction. That is that's probably her best shot, actually. Either discreetly act as a distraction or just be a huge beacon of look over here instead, please.
I think she's going to be good for our infiltration.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could come in handy. And you can combine those two. That could also, I would also say that could work equally well for security and escape as well, provided that with the escape, the one thing I will say is that will rely on you. That'll put you in a position where the heat is a little bit more on Aurora specifically during that escape. If you're relying on, in fact, on distractions and such. But it can really work for kind of whichever you prefer of those three. Now, like I said, infiltration already does have some resources allocated to it. That doesn't mean you can't involve yourself in that as well. It just means that there'll be one section that doesn't get direct attention. But I would say, in terms of like distractions, that would come in most handy during infiltration, security, or escape.
What do you think?
Oh, I don't.
Because Tom could be useful for either, but I don't want to steal your thunder.
It's I'm not sure what I would say. I'm kind of leaning on
Sure.
no.
I guess to put it most simply, would you rather be trying to perform distractions on your way in or on your way out?
Fair.
Yes.
I could probably get away with it a little bit better if it's on the way in.
Okay, excellent. So let's.
Playing dumb will probably work better on your way in rather than on your way out. Or I don't know.
That's fair.
Well, unless you really want to try to buff up that infiltration score, then I would suggest we do it for security. If that works for you.
Yeah, no, I think so. They're usually the weakest chain in any form of security is the human element of it. So that might be where she comes in.
Excellent. So your obstacle is going to be the actual human guards or humanoid guards, because they might be vampires.
Oh, I sure do hope they have some level of humanity, or it might be difficult to use that high empathy of mine.
So you want to rely on empathy for your skill, and then what attribute would you like to lean on?
Oh, I think Tupan. Okay, she's very unhappy with me because I'm moving around. So I got a really high manipulation, so that's probably just like, oh no, I need some help and attention. Don't fight.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me a empathy manipulation roll, please.
I would, but I am risking getting bit.
Well,
Okay.
I hope that I'm sorry. I know what it's like to have a attention-starved cat that bites you when you move, and mine does the same.
All right, let's go. Roll. So it's the number of dots equal, like that's the number of die.
Correct. And your target number is 7.
My target number is 7, and I got 4 plus 6. No, love. No. All right, so I got at least, I got 4 10s.
Oh, excellent. Reroll those.
Holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
That's
so
nice.
I got I think in total about maybe like 6 successes.
Excellent. So that will give you 2 additional plan points and no complications during the security phase. So
for this one.
except for the kitty complication.
Yeah.
I appreciate you braving the fangs. And then that brings us, so Tom's going to round us out with escape.
He's going to do escape. Yeah. So I think so. What do you think's good for escape? Like, is it just going to go down to like? It's going to go down to like fighting our way out. Probably. Someone's going to get the alarm's going to get tripped. We're going to have to do some hallway fights, a la Old Boy.
Excellent. All right. So obstacle is going to be violence. And what is your?
How about stamina and close combat? Because it's going to be a long hallway.
Sure.
Okay. So that's going to be a good dice pool, hopefully. Let's find out if my dice betray me, because these are always there to mess up players. And unfortunately, I am one right now. Oh! Do one subtract in this? They don't, right?
They do not subtract. No, they don't matter unless you get no successes.
I have a single 8.
Excellent. Would you like to spend the remaining momentum to reroll 3 of those dice?
What do you guys think? What do you think?
How many successes did you get?
1.
I have 1.
The odds of getting 3 more don't feel amazing.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But I would like to remind you that your momentum will refresh at the beginning of the next session.
So they're probably very
And
little
we're
to
almost done with the session, right?
Yeah.
So go for it.
We're technically going to run a couple minutes over. I apologize to all parties concerned.
And I got nothing. I rolled 3. I got nothing.
Well, the bright side is that you only get a complication of 3 going into the escape phase.
Okay.
And that, so now we have effectively created some plan points, gone through kind of the first half of getting the heist prepared. So next session, we'll be able to dive right into the action. That wraps us up for the day. So because we've gone a little bit over, I'm just going to real quick zip through handing out XP, and then we will say our goodbyes for this week. So give me just 2 shakes of a sheep's tail, because I've got this up in front of me. Did any of you achieve any of your short-term aspirations for your character?
No.
So I realized I completely didn't set them.
Me
So
too.
I need to do that for next game.
Excellent. Well, in that case, did Dr. Tom or Aurora have any?
No, I didn't achieve any.
All right.
I might have done it a little bit where it's just like trying to find and take opportunities for her to catch up.
I will
essentially.
absolutely award you that. So you go ahead, and then at the start of next session, when we do our tweaks, we'll make sure we get aspirations for everybody. I apologize for missing that during session 0. However, you did spend at least half of the available momentum, so you all get 1 point for that. And you reached a story milestone, so you all get 1 point for that. In terms of you all reached the reality you were headed to. So I know we're running a little bit over, so I just want to give everybody an opportunity to say their goodbyes real quick. If you could, starting with Kelly, please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote.
Hey everybody, I'm Kelly Clark. I am the host and lead storyteller over at twitch.tv/dorktales or youtube.com/dorktales, where we stream a lot of role-playing content, everything from D&D to tons of Onyx Path and World of Darkness stuff. You should definitely check us out if you're looking at that kind of thing. I've been playing Dr. Tom. We both use he and him, and I'm sad that I wasn't able to be here right at the beginning, but I'm very excited to pick this up and to play Dr. Tom because he is a very fun, cranky old curmudgeon. Never do that word right, but he's a cranky old coot. I love that. Thank you very much, Travis. It's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to have you, and I absolutely thank you for being here. And I look forward to delving in further next week. Next up, Danielle, your pertinence, please.
Yes, I'm Danielle Lozon. My pronouns are she and they. Playing Rebecca Smythe, whose pronouns are she and her. And I'm promoting this crowdfunder for the Trinity Continuum Player's Guide. If you haven't heard about it, you should go check it out. It's on BackerKit right now. And yeah, that's that's what's going on.
Excellent. And I've just thrown the link to that backer kit into the chat. And again, I believe it's being simulcast over at that page as well. And I believe next week's session will be as well. Next up, that brings us around to Aurora. Please give us your pertinence.
Hello, I've been playing Aurora. My name is Bianca. And character and my pronouns are she, her. I don't have anything in particular to promote, so quick seize this opportunity to fill it out with something from Onyx Path. They are good. So I don't know. Twitter's a mess. I'm not really on Twitter. I don't have socials anymore.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. I do have your tweet. I think I have everybody's Twitter handles under the faces, but yeah, it is a bit of a trash fire over there. So understood if nobody wants to go over there. And that brings us around, last but not least, to Babs. Your pertinence, please.
Sure. Hi, I'm Bunny Hearted. My pronouns are she and her or they and them. And I've been playing Babs the Butcher, whose hoedown pronouns are she and her. I am sadly on Twitter, but you can find me wherever bunnies are found at bunnyheartedvt or twitch.tv/bunnyhearted, where I am a cozy, comfy, trans, and retro-styled bunny VTuber with a slime on my head. I've really been having a lot of fun here today, and I cannot wait for next session and to get some heists going on.
I am very much looking forward to it, and I'm very, very, very pleased that you were able to make it and join us. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and
Likewise.
I really cannot thank you enough for taking the time. And I love Babs as well, so always a good time to play with that character.
Babs loves you too.
Aw. And that
Down.
that leaves me. I'm Travis, he, they. When I'm not running games, I'm writing them. And again, I just want to thank everyone who's watching either live or in VOD. I want to again implore you to please go check out the Player's Guide. We got 9 days left to raise as much as we can, unlock some stretch goals, and have a good time. We will be returning here with this crew on next Tuesday at noon Eastern, and I will be back here Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern for our other backer kit focused actual play called Time and Space. This one is dealing with interdimensional travel. In that one, they have all found their way into the microverse. So lots of fun times happening on that channel or on that stream as well. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other. Wash your hands, wear a mask, get your shots, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, y'all.